Hello, hello. Welcome to the Live by Design Lounge. My name is Jeanette Schaub and I'm your life coach. And here is where we get real and go deep about where we are today, where we want to be, and all the stuff that gets in the way. And so today's topic is, I'm so happy that you're here. But today's topic is limiting beliefs. And this is a really important topic. And we can only scratch the surface today in this video, but there will be more and we will talk more about this. But I want to give you some framework. And today what we're going to accomplish is identifying limiting beliefs that are showing up in your life that might be standing in the way of you reaching your goals. I want to give you some reframes and talk about how to go about reframing those limiting beliefs and some action steps at the end of this video. And hopefully just bring some clarity to this topic for you. So what is a limiting belief? It is something that you tell yourself that you actually believe, but is in fact not true or limiting in some way. And you've given meaning to it, however, and again, probably isn't true. And so our beliefs create our experiences and our experiences support our beliefs. So I want to say that again. Our beliefs, so take that limiting belief, creates your experience. Your experience, therefore, supports that limiting belief. And so if you have beliefs that are limiting out there or negative in some way that are showing up in your life and keeping you from reaching your goals, you are creating experiences that are giving you an opportunity to say, see, I told you that this was true. See, I knew I wasn't going to get XYZ. I knew this was going to happen. Whatever it is that's limiting, that we've given meaning to, that again is in fact not true. So I hope that makes sense. But most important, belief creates experience. Experience supports belief. So an example would be, let's take a networking event. I am fairly introverted. That's changed a lot over the years, but there would have been a time in my life I would have said, I'm horrible at networking. I'm so introverted. I'm never going to make any new connections. And that would be my limiting belief about that. And so, again, the belief is that I'm not good at networking. The experience I created because I believe that I'm not good at this is probably one that wasn't very positive. I'm going to go home and say I didn't meet anybody because I maybe I stood in the corner and didn't approach anyone. Maybe I found a reason to leave early. Maybe I made excuses about whatever, but I went home and I said, see, I didn't make any connections tonight, so that must be true, what I believe, that I'm horrible at networking. Does that make sense? So again, I created this experience based on that belief, and the experience supported it. It gave me a reason to say, I'm not good at this. I knew I wasn't going to make any connections, and see, look what happened. I didn't make any connections tonight. So what do? So before I move on to reframes, let's actually talk about some other examples of limiting beliefs. And I want you to really think as we're listing these off of things that could be showing up in your life today. So it could be things really, a little more magnitude, like my life sucks, I'm really unlucky, I'm never going to find love. Everything from that to, I'm overweight, or I can't make friends, or I'm a horrible wife, I'm not a good friend, I'm not good at my job, I don't have enough experience, nobody's going to buy, you fill in the blank, my product, service, my book, I'm not a good test taker, I failed that test, I'm not a good test taker, I'm horrible at math, I am fat, I can't lose weight, I'm never going to get healthy, or I'm always going to be sick. Like, those are things that we tell ourselves that we actually believe to be true. And then we find evidence to support it in our environment. I promise you, if you have a negative or a limiting belief, you will find evidence in your environment to support that negative belief. If that is in fact true, imagine what could happen if you start changing the meaning that you give to those limiting beliefs and creating positive experiences. Then you will start finding evidence to support those positive, true thoughts and create positive experiences for yourself. So let's go into reframes. What is a reframe? The reframe changes the relationship between the belief and the experience. It does not change, we're not changing the context or the content of what happened. We're changing the meaning that we've given to that experience. Does that make sense? So if we have a negative experience, we're giving meaning to that. We've given meaning to that. So we're telling ourselves something about that experience. And so we want to shift the meaning that we're giving to those limiting beliefs. So so some questions when you're thinking about reframes for your limiting beliefs, some questions you want to ask yourself. What else might be true? So again, take that networking event example where I say I'm not good at networking, and I could ask myself, what else might be true about that? What if it isn't true? That would be the second question. And then the third question is, what's the positive intention of that limiting belief? We all have a need to feel like we belong, to feel safety and love. And so those are essential basic needs that everybody has. What is the positive intention of me telling myself I'm not good at networking? Perhaps it's fear of rejection. Perhaps I want to feel like I belong, and if I don't put myself out there, I won't experience not belonging. And the list goes on, right? But that's just to give you an example of what a positive intention could potentially be. So again, 3 questions to ask yourself when you're looking at your limiting beliefs. What else might be true? What if it isn't true? And what is the positive intention of the belief? And now we're going to get into some specific actions to go further to reframe those limiting beliefs. First, let's get very clear on what the belief is that you want to change. So one of your actions is putting all your limiting beliefs on a piece of paper. I want you to write them down because then they get real. Write down all your limiting beliefs on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, I want to challenge you to start thinking about, first of all, let's zero in on the 1 to 3 that you actually want to start with to change, right? You might have a whole list. I'm not going to say attack that whole list, but let's narrow down to your top 3 limiting beliefs. Let's get clear on that. And the first question you're going to ask yourself is, does this limiting belief serve your future version of yourself? So for instance, again, going back to the networking example, if I really believe that I'm horrible at networking, but I want to grow my business and know that I really need to do some networking, does that limiting belief serve me and the future version of myself and me meeting my goals? I'm going to say, no, it absolutely does not. I'm not going to be able to reach my goals of expanding my business if over here I really believe that I'm horrible at networking and meeting people. The two don't match, and it's not going to serve me any longer. So that would be that question. And then what evidence, real evidence, do you have to tell you that that belief is true to begin with? Okay, so left-hand column, I want you to write, go deep. I want you to write all those things that come to mind that you know are limiting beliefs that are standing in the way of you reaching your goals. And on the right-hand side, I want you to ask yourself and get very clear. Identify the beliefs you want to change and ask yourself, does that belief serve you currently and serve the future version of yourself any longer? And what evidence do you really have to support that belief? And then the third step in that process of those 2 columns is reframes. What else could you tell yourself to be true about those beliefs? And that's going to be a series of questions that you can start to ask yourself and elaborate on. So if I want to change the belief that I'm no longer good at networking, I might start thinking about, things that I know that I am good at and how I can bring those attributes out in a networking event. Or remember a time when I did meet somebody that led to an opportunity or a new connection, or how, every time I open up, trust myself to be open in a setting like a networking event, that I actually do meet really cool, nice people. Whatever it is for your limiting beliefs, go through those questions, and I want you to start to reframe them in positive ways. no more negative, no more limiting. You're going to start to think of ways that you can reframe and reshift the meaning you've given to those beliefs. And remember, the most important thing is there is no right way, there is no wrong way to do this. It's all about awareness and creating room for positive experiences in your life. But most of all, remember where we are today and where we want to be. There's stuff that gets in the way, and I promise you, limiting beliefs are right at the top of the list of things that get in the way from us reaching our goals. So that's the us scratching the surface on limiting beliefs today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please visit my website, Living It by Design. You can find me on Instagram, go to the Facebook page. I would love to hear what you come up with and anything that you're willing to share. Always looking, love to hear those things. And I hope that this was helpful. And here's to overcoming those limiting beliefs. Until the next time, we'll see you in the lounge.